James Howlett was born in Alberta, Canada in the late 18th century as a sickly and weak child. His parents were Elizabeth and John Howlett. However, it was the fruit of an affair between his mother and the gardener Thomas Logan. Although surrounded by the care of servants and the love of his father John, James was largely neglected by his mother, who had been deeply traumatized following the death of her first son, John Jr. After some incidents with Thomas's son, the man was expelled from the Howlett mansion. In retaliation, the former gardener used a shotgun to threaten the family. Fear activated Logan's mutant powers, and he demonstrated bone claws on each hand and used them to murder Thomas. Frightened, James ran away from home, and thanks to his healing factor, he never got sick again, but he had also suppressed the memories of that night as a self-protection. The boy escaped with Rose, his childhood friend, who renamed him Logan. As time passed, James Howlett rejected his origins and fully assumed Logan's identity as a shadow hunter. As time passed, Logan's powers grew. He became stronger. His healing factor slowly removed the traumatic memories of his childhood. He accepted his wild nature and began hunting with a pack of wolves. Dog, Thomas Logan's son, returned to seek revenge for his father's murder, but James fought back and killed Rose in the altercation. Shocked by what happened, Logan's mind shut down and he decided to leave the civilized world and live with the wolves. In the following months, Logan went completely feral and was hunted by Dog and Mr. Sinister. In the end, the mutant fell into the hands of Hugo the Great, master of ceremonies of the Circus of Horrors. At this location, Sinister managed to capture Logan and experimented on him. Luckily, he was saved by the Creed brothers, who were also in that circus. The three moved to New York, where Logan fell in love with Clara. Unfortunately, Sinister found them and sent his men to hunt them down. During the fight, Logan apparently murdered his beloved. Saul, Clara's brother, convinced Logan to go get revenge on the villain. James went to the base only to discover that Saul was working alongside Sinister. In retaliation, Logan was about to kill him, but was stopped by Clara, who was actually alive. Seeing Logan's evil, the girl rejected him, so the mutant went away. Stories of the Beast Man who attacked his family reached Victor Creed, the man who would become known as Sabertooth. He wanted revenge and sought out Logan to kill him. Creed took him to the Ravencroft Institute, where Essex lobotomized, tortured, and experimented on him. James managed to escape and was later recruited by the Hand in Japan. Under his command, he investigated a series of murders that led him to Sabertooth. The two faced each other and Logan lost this first match. After this, Logan traveled to the mountains where he met and fell in love with Silver Fox. They both lived happily for a time. Around this time, he met Sabertooth again and the two formed a friendship due to Logan not remembering their previous encounter. During her birthday, Creed revealed his true intentions, attacking Silver Fox and leaving her for dead. Enraged, Logan fought him in a bar, only to be defeated and nearly killed. Sabertooth led him to believe that the people of the nearby town had ordered Silver Fox's death to get rid of him, leading Logan to massacre the town's inhabitants. In the years that followed, Logan traveled the world, became a soldier, mercenary, assassin, spy, outlaw and samurai, and fought in both world wars and several more. For a time he trained Natalia Romanoff, the woman he would become Black Widow, in addition to fighting alongside Captain America, Bucky, Nick Fury and more. During his travels he also met several of his future enemies such as Mystique, Cyber, Nuke, Omega Red and Bloodscream. It is known that he was present during the bombing of Hiroshima and survived the detonation of the bombs. After the end of World War II, Logan fell in love with Itsu and the two had a son. Unfortunately, Bucky, who had been turned into the Winter Soldier, murdered Itsu and kidnapped the baby on the orders of the villain Romulus, who trained him to be an assassin and kill his father in the future. In 1961, Logan, now known as Wolverine, joined the Weapon X project, which had been created to fight mutant threats. He was then placed on team during this time. Logan and the others received memory implants so they could be manipulated. Weapon X also doubled Wolverine's healing factor and implanted it in the rest of the team, slowing their aging. In 1966, Logan also helped Nick Fury deal with the Sim soldiers in Vietnam, where he discovered the existence of extraterrestrial life and was first possessed by a symbiote. In late 1968, Logan regained all of his life's memories during a Weapon X attack, where they attempted to find a way to kill him. Logan pretended he lost his memory and played along as they stopped the Russian program trying to create a new super soldier. The result was the birth of Omega Red, and after defeating him, Wolverine left Team X. Sometime later, Logan joined Department K, a secret branch of the Canadian Ministry of Defense. During his stay, he again worked alongside Nick Fury and with Richard and Mary Parker, Spider-Man's parents. During this period he also met Carol Danvers, who would later become Ms. Marvel, when they investigated the death of one of the Department K officials. Logan and Carol discovered that the government had discovered the existence of mutants and tried to prevent for this information to come to light. Upon learning this, Logan deduced that he was a mutant, news that shocked him. To make matters worse, his healing factor began to affect his mind due to the various blackouts and brainwashing he had had throughout this time. Wolverine began to suffer from nightmares, so he abused drugs and became an alcoholic to try to control them. These behaviors caused his dismissal from Department K, and he decided to leave Canada. While preparing to leave, James was kidnapped by Weapon in order to turn him into the perfect weapon. They coated his skeleton with adamantium, the strongest metal on the planet, and brainwashed him. Logan's rage got out of control, and thanks to Gambit's intervention in the laboratory, he managed to escape while murdering everyone who crossed his path. While wandering in the woods, he was found by Heather and James Howlett, who rescued and rehabilitated him. While recovering, Logan regained enough of his human personality to be horrified by his claws, believing them to be artificial implants. James was a Canadian scientist who created a battlesuit. Seeing Logan's abilities, he believed that he could be a hero like the newly formed Fantastic Four. Logan joined the Canadian team Alpha Flight, and on one of his first missions he was sent to stop the Hulk in a Wendigo. This would begin a series of several confrontations he would have with the Emerald Goliath. After hearing of his battle with the Hulk, Professor X sought out Logan to ask him to rescue his X-Men from the island of Krakoa. Wolverine accepted and, along with other mutants, joined the second X-Men lineup. Initially, his wild nature isolated him from his companions, but with them he found friendship, and thus began to be one of the firmest believers in Xavier's dream of a peaceful coexistence between humans and mutants, although he used to hide it with his cynicism. He began a rivalry with Cyclops for the love of Jean Grey, but it ended when the latter chose Scott over him. When the X-Men go to Japan, Logan also met Yukio, an assassin who would later become his lover. Along with the X-Men, Logan lived many incredible adventures. He formed a great friendship with Storm, Nightcrawler and Angel, and served as a mentor to Kitty Pryde and Jubilee. Together they faced Mystique, Magneto, Juggernaut, Lady Deathstrike, Mr. Sinister and the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. In addition to his fellow mutants, Logan worked alongside other vigilantes such as Punisher, Ghost Rider and Spider-Man. He was an integral part in events such as Days of Future Past, the Dark Phoenix Saga and Inferno. For a while, Logan tried to find out more about his past, so he started an investigation, but when he found nothing, he decided to rejoin the X-Men. Magneto unleashed an electromagnetic pulse on Earth, killing thousands of innocent people. Xavier and the X-Men decided to infiltrate his space station to stop him once and for all. Unfortunately for the X-Men, the fight did not go as planned, and when Magneto was about to kill Quicksilver, Wolverine intervened, slashing him with his claws and saving Pietro's life. In response, the Master of Magnetism ripped the adamantium from Wolverine's body, leaving him severely injured. These injuries overloaded his healing factor, plus he discovered that his claws that he believed were a result of the Weapon X program were actually part of his actual bone structure due to his mutation. As a result of his injuries and the loss of his healing factor, Logan left the X-Men for a time. Shortly after, Logan encountered the mercenary known as Deadpool and was nearly killed during their fight. But fortunately, his healing factor finally came back stronger than ever to save him. Logan went after Deadpool, but Wade managed to escape, so he decided to return to the X-Men. Back at the X-Mansion, Sabertooth, who was a prisoner of the X-Men at the time Xavier was trying to reform him, managed to escape from his cell and was confronted by Wolverine as a result. After a severe beating, Sabertooth threatened to kill Jean Grey, Kitty Pryde, and Jubilee. Logan snapped and dug one of his claws into Creed's brain, nearly killing him. Wolverine's victory against Sabertooth came at a price, as Logan could feel his wild nature taking control of him, and as a result, he decided to live in the forest for a while. Logan regressed to a primitive state, but with the help of Electronachios, Stick and his friends he was able to regain his sanity and little by little return to his normal appearance. Later, during a space adventure with the X-Men, Logan was kidnapped by Apocalypse and turned into the Horseman of Death. Along with brainwashing, Apocalypse recoded Logan's skeleton with adamantium. In this state he faced Sabertooth and the Hulk. Eventually, the X-Men saved him just in time to see Colossus sacrifice his life to stop the legacy virus. Not long after, Jean Grey and Professor Xavier went to Paris and met a strange character named Phantom X who revealed several secrets of weapon experiments from a much larger project called Weapon Plus, which created living weapons over the years. This same group was also responsible for the creation of Deadpool, X-23, and Weapon H. Jean discovered that Phantom X was also a victim of Weapon Plus and that his designation was Weapon 13. Shortly after, while rescuing the mutant Dust, Logan met Phantom X who called him by his real name for the first time in years, James. After this adventure, Jean was killed by the mutant Zorn, which left Logan heartbroken. Wolverine mourned the death of his beloved and showed his discontent with Cyclops and Emma Frost's relationship, but remained a valued member of the X-Men, serving on as many missions as he could while also allowing himself some solo missions. It was during this period that Logan discovered that his friend Colossus had been brought back to life by the alien warrior Horde. He also met Hisako Ichiki, better known as Armor, and decided to train her. Sometime later, Wolverine received a strange letter from Sarah Kinney telling him that a young clone of him named Laura and codenamed X-23 was created and used to commit several murders around the world. After this, X-23 tracked Logan to the X-Mansion. James detected her scent and took her to a quiet place where they would not be disturbed. James tried to reason with the girl, but Laura attacked him and almost killed him. Logan took the opportunity to calm her down, breaking X-23's conditioning so he could help her. After talking to her and telling her that he would help her, Logan and Laura were attacked by S.H.I.E.L.D. and Captain America, who were here to arrest the girl for her various crimes. With his help, Laura escaped. Later, the X-Men found Laura during a mission and invited her to join the Xavier Institute, where she joined the New Mutants and became very protective of Logan. While on a mission in the Savage Land, Wolverine met the New Avengers and joined the team after being invited by Iron Man. After the events of House of M, Wolverine was one of the few mutants who kept his powers, but he also regained all the memories of his life thanks to Wanda's spell. Thanks to this, Logan decided to take revenge on all the people who had hurt him over the years. With the help of Emma Frost, Logan soon discovered that Daken, his son, was alive and he hated him. After meeting his son, Logan tried to save him several times, but refused his help, betraying Logan and attempting to kill him several times, even after learning the truth about how Romulus was responsible for everything that happened to him and Logan. Daken stole his father's name and joined Norman Osborn's Dark Avengers. He underwent an experiment to coat his claws with the metal of the Muramasa sword, a weapon of his father that was impregnated with part of Logan's soul. Daken attempted to kill Romulus to take control of his empire. Upon hearing this, James realized that his son was beyond salvation. In the end, Logan was able to defeat Romulus and, with Cloak's help, trapped Romulus in the Dark Force dimension. He then defeated Daken and removed Muramasa's claws. Once done, Logan hid Daken's claws and Muramasa's broken sword in an unmarked grave near the Howlett estate, ending Romulus' empire and legacy once and for all. Cyclops decided to form a new X-Force with Wolverine as leader to take care of dirty business that the rest of the X-Men wouldn't normally do, including murder. Cyclops decided to add X-23 to the team without consulting Logan first, which angered him as he was trying to make Laura more than a killing machine. But despite Logan's protests, Laura joined the team. During the events of Second Coming, Cable and Hope Summers returned to the present to stop Bastion. Unfortunately, after X-23 killed a prisoner in front of the X-Men, news broke about X-Force and a rift developed between Wolverine and several members of the X-Men, most notably his best friend Nightcrawler. Before Logan could explain to his best friend, Kurt was killed by Bastion, leaving Logan heartbroken. During what appeared to be a routine robbery, Spider-Man and Wolverine were thrown back in time by the time diamonds that the thieves attempted to take. They both ended up in prehistory where Logan became friends with some cavemen. Thanks to him, they were able to survive the impact of the meteorite that extincted the dinosaurs. When the meteor arrived, Spidey and Logan found themselves thrown into the future, which was about to be destroyed by Doom the Living Planet, a fusion of Doctor Doom and Ego. The only way to stop him was to use an artifact known as the Phoenix Gun. This weapon could fire a Phoenix bullet containing the power of the Phoenix Force, capable of destroying anything in exchange for the life of the person using it. Despite Spider-Man's protests, Wolverine used the weapon to destroy Doom and, as such, died in the process. However, Spider-Man resurrected him with a cosmic cube. After previously using the Phoenix weapon and being resurrected by Spider-Man, the Phoenix Force remained within him and, as time passed, grew until Wolverine became Dark Phoenix. Fortunately, Spider-Man managed to calm him down, and after Logan told the Phoenix to leave him alone, the Phoenix Force seemed to abandon him, and the duo returned to their time. Logan went to visit his old friend John Wraith, who was now a minister. A few weeks later, a child was found dead with 3 claw marks. Wraith found Logan, but was attacked by him and discovered that his friend's body had been possessed by a demon. This being wanted to hurt everyone who was close to Logan, including Wraith himself. Meanwhile, Logan's soul was sent to Hell by Mystique with the help of the criminal group Red Right Hand. In Hell, Logan encountered Satan and was forced to fight several of his deceased enemies, including Sabertooth. Meanwhile, the demon attacked Amiko, Yukio, and X-23. In an effort to regain control, Wolverine confronted the devil himself with the help of Puck, his former Alpha Flight partner, and a man who would turn out to be the first person he had ever killed, his own father. With the help of Ghost Rider, Hellstrom, Mystique, and his ex-girlfriend, journalist Melita Garner, he returned from Hell, but the demon lying in his body was unwilling to leave. Cyclops, Namor, and Magneto tried to confront Logan's body, while Logan's mind confronted the demon inside his mind. Scott devised a plan to eliminate Wolverine, which consisted of having Magneto extract the adamantium from his body, so that Namor would then decapitate him and Cyclops would disintegrate his remains. The plan failed, as the demon managed to remove Magnus's helmet before he could extract the adamantium. The demon entered Magneto's mind and tormented him with memories of his childhood during World War II. Logan opened one of the barriers inside her mind where the memory of Jean Grey, who helped her expel the demon, was housed. Once free, Logan decided to eliminate all the members of the Red Right Hand, but they decided to take their own lives before letting Wolverine catch them. During the battle, James eliminated the Mongra, who turned out to be the children he had fathered over the years. This news plunged him into a deep depression. Back with the X-Men, Logan witnessed the return of Kid Omega, who unleashed a new wave of anti-mutant sentiment. As a result of Quire's actions, Wolverine and Cyclops were constantly divided over how to handle this situation. Wolverine wanted to hand Quire over to Captain America, while Cyclops wanted to take care of him within the mutant community. Their constant fighting caused the mutants to divide. Cyclops decided to train the new recruits to defend themselves in a world that hates and fears them. For his part, Logan went to Westchester and founded the Jean Grey School to protect young mutants. Logan sided with the Avengers when the Phoenix returned to Earth to take over Hope Summers' body. His former X-Men teammates saw him as a traitor, but Scott's actions under the control of the Phoenix proved that he was right about rejecting the bird. While assisting S.H.I.E.L.D. on a mission, Logan became infected with a microverse virus that destroyed his healing factor. Despite that, he continued fighting criminals and receiving hand-to-hand combat training to improve his skills. His end came at the hands of Abraham Cornelius, the scientist who had coated his skeleton with adamantium. The scientist wanted to capture Wolverine to conclude his original experiment and create a perfect super soldier. When Logan took the fight to Cornelius, the scientist was shocked to learn that he had lost his healing factor. Anyway, he decided to continue his experiment and fused adamantium into several test subjects. In a final act of defiance, Wolverine shattered the adamantium tanks, molten metal covering his entire body. Despite this, he saved the test subjects and eliminated Cornelius. Then he knelt down, while the adamantium solidified, and died in front of the setting sun. Months after Logan's death, his body was found by Persephone, the mysterious mutant leader of the Sotera criminal organization, who resurrected him as one of her undead assassins. But somehow, Logan's healing factor recovered and he came back to life, freeing himself from Persephone's control and killing several Sotera soldiers in the process. Already back in the land of the living, Logan decided to head back to the X-Mansion, but on the way he was summoned by the Fantastic Four to help them against the Endlings. Once this was done, Logan was sent back to Earth where he helped Cyclops rescue the other X-Men. After Professor X returned from the dead, founded the mutant nation of Krakoa with Magneto and Moira McTaggart. Logan joined the X-Men on several missions to ensure peace for his new nation. He even moved to the moon where he lived for a time with Cyclops and Jean. Logan joined a new incarnation of X-Force led by Beast to eliminate all enemies of Krakoa. During his first mission, Hank lost an eye. This, added to the stress caused by his new position as team leader, caused him to lose his sanity. Beast began eliminating various targets that posed a threat to Krakoa, whether they attacked the nation or not. Wolverine was against this and confronted his friend. Upset, Hank sent James on a suicide mission where he was captured and auctioned off for parts to various villains. McCoy showed up at the auction only to buy Logan and proceed to behead him in front of those present. Henry resurrected Logan and put an obedience collar on him to force him to follow his every command. With this, Beast used him as his personal assassin. With the help of Sage and the island of Krakoa itself, Logan regained enough of his humanity and decided to take revenge on Hank. He tracked down his old friend and murdered him, only to discover that he had created clones of himself. They in turn created hundreds of Wolverine clones to use as weapons. Luckily, X-Force managed to defeat them all. Logan confronted the Silent Council about Beast's actions, but they decided to ignore him for the good of the nation. Disappointed, Logan left the island and revoked his citizenship on Krakoa. Hank began one last plan to ensure mutant supremacy, but with the help of Wonder Man and a Beast clone, they managed to stop him and he ultimately died by his own hand. Sabertooth returned to Logan's life for one last battle. Creed attacked and apparently killed Laura and Daken, so Logan decided to wear adamantium armor to end their long-standing rivalry once and for all. Wolverine is the most popular character of the X-Men, and as such, he has an extensive history that continues to constantly expand, both in the future and in stories located in the past. Currently, we know that Logan will be part of the new Uncanny X-Men lineup to protect mutants after the fall of Krakoa. Whether as an Avenger, X-Men, a member of the Fantastic Four, or on solo adventures, rest assured that Logan will continue to fight to make the world a better place, even if that means he'll have to get his hands dirty to do it.